lovelies! I'm here with
ROXAS Studios.
OleJackBurton.
Yeah, and we are talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Round 1.
What did you guys think about it?
Flipping of baseballs.
It was awesome.
So good.
Okay, it was really good, and I expected it to be good. I really did. We all really enjoyed it. What was your favorite part?
I can't even process that. I don't even know what my favorite part is
Do
because
you
the
have a
whole
favorite
thing
part?
was like super enjoyable.
Spider-Gwen.
I mean, yeah, we know that was
That was
yours.
mine. She
Okay,
was
so
fun.
here's what I can say is that there was so many parts because you guys said, "Hey, we're gonna do the review afterwards," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to make mental notes,"
It's
and
like
they were gone.
Yeah.
They were gone. I was like, "Oh my god, the next awesome thing happened." I was like, "Oh, okay, this is okay."
Yeah, that's
And-
literally how I was. I was like, I should probably pay attention. I'm just like, pretty good.
And I was like, "There's parts where you're like."
Yeah.
Chopping onions.
If you like getting into a movie, it's very emotional.
Yeah.
Like there are parts where you're like, it is hitting you.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel for Spider-Man and shows the struggle that he has. Like, it's not just like every day I'm just flipping cars and it's awesome. It's like, no, it's a struggle. Getting up, doing it again, and getting it
Right.
And, you know, the whole premise is like getting knocked down and then
Right.
you get back up again. No matter what your choice is, whenever you make a choice, it's fractures basically in another dimension.
Which
Because
is
your
interesting.
choices define you.
Yeah.
That's basically life
Right.
in general.
Right.
Well, and this is what I enjoy too about it is that when you look at the way that they did the character development, you can go in to that movie being anywhere in life and make a connection.
Yep.
So whether it's you're young, old, female, like for me, right? I'm older, so the older Spider-Man, I'm like, oh yeah, those are all my issues.
Yeah.
Those are all the things I'm fighting right now, you know. So,
Yeah.
and then you got the kid in school where he has to deal with his dad and his parents, and then you know you got Gwen dealing with the loss. And it was really good.
Spider-Man Noir that can't figure out the Rubik's Cube. You know, that's
Spider-Man Noir was great.
That
He
was
was like, this is perfect.
that was one of my favorite lines when he shows up and they're like, "Why is he like?
The wind.
What, where's the wind
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from?"
Where's the wind coming from?
The wind follows me where I go.
So, and to preface that, so I decided to
That's
tell...
one of your favorites, though.
Yeah, I love Spider-Man Noir, yeah. Like, he's in Shattered Dimensions, he's got his own like, all kinds of stuff. But it was funny, because I didn't know that it was going to be Nicolas Cage playing it, and so when I found out, I was
Which
like...
is
I thought it was great.
It's so good.
But
It's
she
really
hates
good.
Nicolas
I hate
Cage.
Nicolas
And so I
Cage.
was like, I wonder if I should tell her or just see the look of, like, utter surprise on her face. And I'm glad that I told her beforehand, because I wasn't even, like, staring at her at all. Like, the entire movie, I was just like...
Yeah. The coolest thing is when it shows Gwen in her universe, all the colors are the exact colors that are from her very first comic book, which I own. And so it's Gwen sitting on a skyscraper just like that. I mean, not with the phone, but
Yeah.
sitting on a skyscraper, and it's all those pink,
And
greens,
teals.
teals colors. It looked just like that. That was so crazy.
They did a great job.
And her being on screen was I was so happy about it. Oh my
Well, let's go from, like, 1 to 10.
1 million.
Okay, well...
So, okay, as far as Spider-Man movies go, I mean, so I have like a soft spot for Peter Parker, and obviously he wasn't the main character in this movie. So like I think I may have liked Homecoming a tiny bit more, but this one's like hard to compare to all the other movies because the animation and the fact that it was basically a comic book.
Yeah, 28.
8. No, 9.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
10.
Wait, did this?
What, is this
Wait,
your top
but
10
the
or is this a
thing
1 to
is-
10?
No, that's
what
the 1 to
you said
10.
doesn't-
Okay, so you gave it 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
All 3.
there are 3 things.
Would it be like your...
Here, I would say, as far as Spider-Man movies, yeah, Homecoming and that.
Yeah.
Because I felt when I watched Homecoming, I was like, oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Everybody grew up with Spider-Man, or especially around my time, right?
Okay, fine, for like just moviegoers, 1 to 10. Like, would you give it like an 8, 9, 10?
Oh, dude,
See, I hate numbers.
I do hate numbers because I would, you know what, I'll give it 10. I'll give it 10.
Yeah.
You know what? And here's why I'll give it 10. Because there is a story arc in there where they kind of follow, where normally it would kind of be like real cheesy,
Yeah.
where they kind of, and they just break it.
Yeah.
They break it, and you're
Definitely
like,
not cheesy.
oh, thank you
Yeah.
for not following the same story arc we've seen a million times.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, and I don't give 10s out. I would give it 10.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it does. I mean, there is a general, story arc that's familiar with, Rise and Fall.
Well, hero story.
Hero story, but like they do a lot of unexpected stuff. There's lots of breaks and twists and turns. And I mean,
That's what we give it. If you don't want to hear spoilers, turn it off. Because we're going to do spoilers now. Spoilers.
Spoiled. It's ruined. Everything is ruined.
Okay, he tries to steal the hard drive And he steals the monitor too, and right when he looked at me and goes, why does he have the monitor as well? Peter goes, you don't actually need the monitor, and throws it away.
Yeah, I was just like, what is he doing? It was just fun, because he's a kid, he doesn't know anything.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just like, I'll grab everything and go. I'm like, that's just extra.
He's not a techie kid either, though.
No, he's not.
Yeah. So like, he's smart, but he's not like Peter Parker smart.
Yeah.
Octavius, or...
How did they put her? I can't remember how they call she's badass.
I think
she is sick, and
I wouldn't have guessed
I know, that was a twist.
That was the coolest twist too.
Yeah.
That was a good awesome twist.
That blew my mind because, but the way she was talking when he finally was like, wait, what's her name? Because in his universe, obviously it's Doc Ock, but like she was saying some of the same stuff that he says in the comics, like about like he's like a creepy like scientist who's like, oh, I just want to experiment and see people's, kind of like the guy in Venom.
Yeah, she's like, I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
You disintegrate,
Yeah, it's the most painful thing ever. She's like, I can't wait to watch it. Just like really like.
And that's how Doc Ock is. Those are the three bad guys. It's like Prowler, Doc Ock, Octavia, and Kingpin.
Yeah.
Which Kingpin and Prowler are pretty normal. I mean, they're in a lot, but you did call the Prowler thing.
Yeah, I did. I was like, what if that's something?
Yeah, that made me really sad.
But I mean, as far as like calling things, that was probably, besides the stuff that I already knew, that's the only one that really was like, oh, got you. I was like, oh man. So, but yeah, everything else was like a total surprise. So that's why I really enjoyed it. I mean, the colors, animation, oh my god.
I didn't feel like I wanted to figure it out. I just wanted to enjoy the experience.
Yeah. Well, but for me,
because some things I think they're super cerebral.
Yeah.
You want to be like, I need to figure this out.
Yeah.
I want to understand. But this, I just sat back and I watched, and I was like, oh my god, this is like watching a
and that's
comic
literally
book,
how
and
it
I'm
was.
like, this is.
Well, see, but for me, like normally, like I don't like look for those things. It just like things line up, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna happen.
Okay.
And like even when I'm watching, trying to enjoy it, I'm like, oh crap, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's like reading a book that you've already read,
that,
And that's what, I mean, we talk about it all the time. That's why we get in trouble because we talk during movies, which we didn't actually talk at all during this one.
We didn't talk at all.
That was crazy.
But it was cool because they did have Miles where he had the invisibility and Electro, which you just don't get to see. Like Spider-Man doesn't have those abilities, so it's cool to see a spider guy who has like different abilities than just being a spider. So that was cool. He could turn invisible, and it was really funny.
They did it in a smart way though too. It's a fight or flight type thing.
Yeah.
So you can either shock or you can go invisible, which was like really smart.
Oh.
So I love it.
The coolest scene I thought cinematically was when at the end when they're falling and they're fighting, when all the things are coming at them and they're going through like houses of other people, all the dimensions are colliding and they're fighting. That was so cool because they were falling but not really falling and fight. That was really cool.
Well, because normally
my brain was like
in the movies normally you fight to get up
Yeah.
or forward, and at some point he's trying to get to the thing and he's going down.
Yeah.
So he like jumps down the building and he's like in between the two of them and you're like, okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
And that's what I actually like. My favorite cinematic scene was actually him on the skyscraper, which was also one of the
where he
movies.
goes.
But yeah, he like breaks off, but like the glass goes with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just his little dive, and it's like the most cinematic Spider-Man dive thing ever.
Yeah.
He's like floating.
It looks like the Kingdom Hearts fall.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
that's
And first time we've seen Black and Latin Spider-Man, which is cool because he's mixed. So that was kind of cool because Peter Parker has always been white.
Yep.
And then you got to see a female because they haven't had a female spider character on the big screen yet. So that was kind of cool to see. Also Gwen, I mean, obviously I love her, so that was really cool. And she was super punk, like she had the eyebrow piercing and the shaved head.
You know what I liked the most about her?
What?
Was her goofy teeth. She had like a
She
gap.
did. They gave her
did she?
they gave her a
notice
gap, and I was like, oh, that's cool, man.
I didn't notice that.
Is that they made all the characters so dynamic. It was like Gwen felt like she was smart and fast and powerful.
And a ballerina.
Right, and she was, it's like all the characters, nothing felt forced, nothing felt fake.
Yeah.
It was just like you watched them and you were like, you wanted to see them succeed or fail and conquer.
Even the pig spider, I was like, I feel like that could be a real thing. Like that could really happen.
Yeah. Character development, like you were saying, like Captain America or Spider-Man, it's always been such an iconic, like, white male, generic buff guy, whatever. Superman the same way. Like these people, they're all Spider-Man, or woman, but they're very
Gender
unique.
bias.
Yeah, I know. You gotta
check my gender bias.
It's
a great line in the movie, and that was as far as they went with that, and everything else was great.
Which was smart though. But like the thing is, like they're still people. They're not just like something that you put on a pedestal. They're actual real people with feelings and emotions.
Well, and they were all, not all of them were like, Miles, like he's going to a school because of a lottery. Like they're not well off. Like it looked like his mom was a nurse and his dad was a police officer. Like they're working class people, and I mean Peter's the same way. So it's not like, oh, they're perfect, because they're not. And I mean even with Gwen, like they didn't give her backstory quite as much, But I mean, you know, she lost. She couldn't save.
Which was unusual. They weren't dating in her universe?
As far as I knew, she was dating him, just like Peter was dating her.
Yeah.
But they weren't like married or anything yet.
Yeah.
I think it was just like they were dating.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting that she, you know,
And she, I mean, you could still call your significant other your best friend. You know, like I guess you don't want to be like my boyfriend. Get out of here.
This is great to have somebody when you're like, I got this skin, and you grow up in a different culture, and then you have guy, and you're like, oh, finally I get to see a superhero. But they didn't do it so that it was so stereotypical and so forced. It felt fake.
Well, see, he's just a hero.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what I liked about the Peter B. Parker is like showing that it doesn't work for everyone. Like obviously, like the superhero thing didn't work out for him. Like
exactly.
Stuff went really bad.
And that's why I said it. As when you're older, when you're at an older stage in life, sometimes life does not fucking work out for you, and you're just like, man, I did all these amazing things, and you're like, I just want pizza.
Exactly.
Oh my god, everything makes me cry.
The pizza falling down when it sucked him up, and then the pizza falling down was so funny. But him just being like, you know, fat and like all this bad stuff happening to him, it was just so relatable to humans.
It's realistic.
Yeah,
you know?
it was
because
so
you don't
funny.
see that with any of this stuff. You just see that they're out there fighting bad guys and doing
right.
the right thing. And
he's
stuff,
in his crappy. It's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's Spider-Man in his shitty apartment. Like I'm like, oh, I know that feeling. Like packing all your. Oh, I'm getting a divorce. Let me pack all. I'm living in a shitty apartment. How did this happen?
Spider-Man
seahorses. He's like, oh, seahorses mate for life.
Oh yeah.
Just think about it. The seahorse saw another seahorse and decided to stay with it for its own life.
Oh my god. And then he goes into the other guy's, the spider cave or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, mine looks just like this.
He's like, this is what he's saying, this is a little pretentious.
Yeah.
The kawaii Spider-Man, dude. The kawaii Spider-Man is so legit.
Yeah, it was so good.
Penny Parker. I'd never heard of her before.
I don't think that's an
I don't know
one.
if did they make this for?
They might have.
So, I don't know, because everything was written in Japanese, right? So...
Oh, when she was doing it? Well, I mean, obviously she was anime. The character was heavily influenced by anime. I mean, everything. How like
that was sad that she had to leave it, but I think that the spider was it, right? So she
her robot got destroyed.
Oh,
that's it.
Sad.
So in this, her father dies.
And so,
she uses her father's robot, and there's a spider that she has a telekinetic link with that controls it. So that's how they work. So that her father's robot is gone, and that's what made her sad.
That's sad.
But still, the spider's with her.
Right. So in the spider, they all get
their telekinetic. You can talk
He
to
said that.
No, yeah.
You said it?
Yeah.
She's telekinetic? It's spider?
telekinetic.
It's so cool.
Kawaii.
But yeah, so that was cool, and I don't know. I guess I have to do some research to see if maybe somewhere in Japan they actually have that Spider-Man. I don't know.
I think sometimes we get so stuck with like lore and canon that we've forgotten that people can just be like, we're gonna make something amazing and we're gonna use this because that's the whole thing with art.
Well, and also I almost felt bad for Kingpin in this. Like I almost felt bad for the bad guy because I understand like wanting to bring people back.
Well, the narcissism in the character is shown by the fact that he didn't learn from what he was doing.
Yeah, he just did it again.
He's so stuck in the stereotype of control, anger, and power that he makes the same exact mistake that makes him lose his wife and his son again.
Yeah, exactly.
So it didn't matter if they were taken away from him, which they're taken away in a car accident, which is why he's built this machine.
Yeah.
Or in the end scene, they're taken away because as they're trying to, he's trying to bring them back, they see what he's doing, and they leave.
Yeah, exactly.
So the same thing. It
happens again.
They were going to leave him either way, right?
Yeah.
But you do feel bad for him because he's like, oh wait, stay with me.
I felt so bad at that point in time. I was really surprised that Peter actually died. I didn't expect that at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's died.
So I don't know Miles' story very well, and I didn't realize that Spider-Man is actually in his story. Because it's Miles' story, that's apparently what happens. Or they may have made it up. I don't know. I haven't read his comics, so...
No, there's plenty of characters die. They come back, they die. There's alternates. There's genetic clones.
Well, I mean, same thing. When people ask me about Gwen, Spider-Gwen, they don't understand it. They're like, well, Gwen Stacy dies. I'm like, I know that, but this is a different universe where Peter dies instead, and I try to explain it and they can't. And that was the cool thing about this is this is the first movie where they put all these dimensions together.
They don't waste time telling stories. And when they do it purposely. They're like, okay,
exactly.
we're gonna tell you the story, and in like
But
10
it's in
seconds,
like 10 seconds.
they tell them the whole story. It works out really well. Look, he's so creepy. It's so creepy when you do that.
So yeah, no, but that was a cool thing is even if you didn't know any of those stories, because again, I don't know a ton about Miles. I don't know a ton about them. I still understood everything. You didn't have to know everything about every universe to
That's
understand.
because Spider-Man is such more like a pop culture reference nowadays.
But that was really funny.
That was great. The beginning, because he's singing along and he's singing the wrong words, and I'm like, yep, that's me. I don't know.
That's everyone
That's
with
everyone.
rap songs, like, because you're singing it and you're just like, hit a bit, like that was so real, like, and it was the very beginning, and you're like, okay, all right, this is gonna be a good movie. Like it was a good first, like, here we go.
In the Stan Lee cameo.
Oh, my heart broke so much.
Oh my god.
I think that may have been his very last cameo, honestly. So yeah, so overall, I mean, I loved it. I thought that it was really well done, really relatable to pretty much everyone. It was literally...
I'd go watch it.
Yeah, you
It
can
was
take
so
your
good.
and you took
I took my
ROXAS
3-year-old.
there, so you can take your kid there, and then you could be there as an adult and just be like, "This is amazing."
Yeah, it was good. There was just so much stuff.
Even the spider looked dope. I'm not gonna lie, that the spider that bit him.
Dude, it was so cool, man.
And it was like,
and then when like things would phase in and out.
Well, and their little Spidey sense things from the comic book.
But I mean, it was really good. You need to go out and see this, enjoy it with your friends, enjoy it with your family. It's a movie you can go watch by yourself and enjoy. But I felt like this is one you want to see with your friends and kind of
Well, the good thing is too, like,
experience.
Go and watch it, because also if you watch it in theaters or if you buy it, I mean, it'll fund it and it'll show people that you want to see this style of animation that's never really been done before.
Yeah.
I mean, the integration. It was certified by the Comic Book Association.
Yeah.
So
that was legit. They showed it at the beginning, and I was like, "What?"
That was cool. So I mean, like, that's an art style that I personally love, because you reference like all the comic book like lightning bolts and things like that. Even like when they were talking,
The panels
or
and the
whatever.
panels.
The panels were great.
Panels
I
were
love
great.
that they had that panel style, and I think that goes back to how they told the story too. So yes,
Go see
Yeah.
it.
Like
so
and
clever.
subscribe. Leave us a comment about how you feel about the movie. I hope you like it just as much as we did. And thank you for visiting. And watch the next video.
Kawaii.
Kawaii.
Do you know who the Beastie Boys? No.
That's even worse.
Beach Boys?
yes,
More?
the Beastie Boys. Yes, I grew up with the Beastie
I don't
Boys,
know
and I
these.
grew up with the Beach Boys.
Well,
Yeah,
so
so
there's-
thanks
hit,
thanks
like,
for that,
Three
guy.
different generations.
I hate you so much.
I might just do that.
He's like, it might be the battery, or
You introduce yourself. You just said hi there.
but they all know. They all know who she is.
There you go.
It's mine.
Wait, after this is the so technically that's
Yeah.
her.
We're just gonna cut. Spider-Man into the interverse. Universe.
Spider-Verse.
Multiverse.
Is the introverse?
Interverse. It's inside of it.
Always with the
Yes.
And she goes.
Okay. Hello! Hi, lovelies. So I am here with... You're supposed to say your name.
Oh, I thought you were like.
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, you're.